Word on the streets, it's BowlzNBeatz. What's good, everybody, and welcome to a new season. It's your host, X, and yes, we're back. I know I took a long break, but it was very necessary. This last season, I had a chance to focus on myself, take care of my health, build my relationships, and actually connect with my community in real life. During my social media hiatus, this is what I learned. 1, you're usually doing better than you think you are. To be honest, we're all constantly just scrolling and comparing ourselves to others. Whether we want to or not, that's literally what social media is. So when you take a chance to just step back, you realize, I'm actually doing pretty good, and I'm pretty grateful for what I have. 2, people don't really realize you've even taken a break. We're constantly stressing, oh my God, I need to post something. And the truth is, they're so busy catching up to everyone else's content, focusing on their own content, they don't even realize you've taken the damn break. 3, don't let your fantasy world cost you your real world. And I say that because I'm noticing a lot of people tend to forget what they had because they're constantly focusing on what everybody else has. And that can cost relationships, that can cost you money, that can cost you your mental health, physical health, and it's not worth it. So take a chance to just focus on the present, be in the now, and be in real life. 4, connect with people in real life. During this break, I actually got a chance to meet a lot of you, connect with my community, and get to know people in real life. Now I'm not just a face on social media, but an actual person. People know, people love, and people got to hang with. 5, if it's making you feel anxious, it's not worth it. If you're feeling negativity when you're on social media, if you're feeling jealousy when you're on social media, if you're feeling even like a stomach ache, you're literally feeling sick just going on social media, you're checking up on that friend you don't fuck with anymore, you're checking up on that ex you don't fuck with anymore, take a break. And 6, make sure you're staying happy in real life and being true to yourself as well. And trust me, I get not everybody wants to post about their hard times online. We all want to show that we're positive and happy, but make sure that you're happy offline too. A lot of people are so focused with being happy online that they forget that they're not even happy in real life. So if you need to take the break, take the damn break. Here to join the conversation, let's welcome back returning guest and 2-time Canadian DMC champion, DJ T Jr. Woo! What's up, girl? Welcome to the stew.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Again.
It's been a minute.
Yes, it has.
Oh my gosh. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Congrats on your championship again. Mic drop.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I just really wanted to secure another win for myself, represent Canada, represent females and within the industry. And I'm actually the first female in the history of DMC world, like across the board, to win a back-to-back title.
Jeez, as we say in Toronto. That's crazy. And I love that you did that because I know like you got a couple haters and trolls that were like, oh, it was luck, or like, oh, they just wanted a female to win last year. So you were like, bet. Like, I'm going to come back and do it again. You did.
Yeah.
It's talent, not luck.
Yeah, it's just hard work, right? Yeah. I tell people that there's always going to be those types of individuals that, like you just said, you know, they might defer to luck or, you know, whatever excuse they want to make up in their heads.
Yeah.
But usually the individuals that speak like that, I don't engage with, and they're usually not on the stage. They're not on the podium. You know, it's part of the game.
Honestly.
In the past, I was working a 9 to 5. And then I would DJ. I was DJing full time and I was working full time. So it was 9 to 5. And then, you know, I would even leave the job and do it like a 5 to 9.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. Like when you're building that creative career, like it's hard in the beginning when you have to juggle both of it, like to not get a burnout.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly working. It's like if I'm off the clock, I'm working on my creative career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, I think just being real with myself of how much, where am I putting my time now is really important. You know, what is going to keep me healthy, mentally healthy, physically healthy, and not doing things that I don't like.
So what made you mentally strong? Because everybody knows like what they're not supposed to do, but when they actually comes down to like putting in the work, it's like a whole different story.
It's work, right? Your mind is like a muscle and your brain's like a muscle. So you have to exercise that. It's not like I just came out strong, right? Maybe I did. Maybe I am different from my siblings, but a lot of it is just training myself. I don't have a fear of a lot of things, but I do have a fear of being whack. You know what I mean? So I was like,
she wakes up in the morning, don't be whack.
I was like, if you don't practice, like, do you want to be whack? No, like, I know I'm anti-whack, right? And I'm anti-corny, but I think it's just in me. Like, I have no choice, no matter how I feel about it. I have no choice.
That comes with passion.
Yeah. So do you like I was speaking to you offline earlier, I said this year, the motivation aspect, that motivational, that feeling of motivation wasn't here for me necessarily this year. So it was all just, it felt like a lot of grit and discipline that got me here. Motivation.
Because you were like, I already did it once.
Yeah, exactly. The novelty of getting the first title is different, right? Because now you have a different reason to earn your second title.
Absolutely.
But I told a lot of my friends, like, staying in a winning position is more difficult than getting your first win.
I've heard that too. Staying at the top is harder than
it is,
getting
because
to the top.
there I did feel the pressure, whether it was like my own pressure on myself or from others. And I think it's just doing what you're supposed to do, doing what you know you're supposed to do, even though you don't feel like it. There are a lot of days I didn't feel like making routines, or I had a lot of concepts in my head or written down, and I wasn't really experimenting in that way that, sometimes what you think in your head is going to work out, like a certain idea, a routine. Right. When you actually try it, within like 10 seconds, you'll know if it's going to work or not.
Right.
So I think for me this year was just in general, it's just like working through any emotion.
Well, I'm glad you did, because you represented for all of us by winning that title again. I'm really glad you did. But I also know not everybody might be happy for you. So as you achieved success, do you feel like it affected your relationships as well?
You know what? I think the real ones are always going to be happy for you.
Right.
That's the main thing I've realized. The people close to me, the people that actually love me and care for me, and vice versa, they feel happy. Your win is their win.
Yes.
So it's a shared win. Yes. Whereas anyone who's salty or they feel a certain way, they're salty because they're looking at their situation. I hope that I can just inspire you to try to be better.
Yes.
But if you're mad at it, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a reflection of how they feel about themselves.
Yeah. I try not to put too much energy or focus to people like that, because it doesn't serve me. Yeah.
And honestly, that took me a long time to realize. Because I'm like a giver. Like, I'm like the kind of person where I want my friends to succeed. I'm like, girl, you better feel like a bad bitch. But not everybody's like that. Some people are like not happy with themselves, not happy with their lives, so they can't lift you up either. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so sometimes I like realize, like, okay, it's not me, it's them.
No, it's them.
They're going through something, like, I shouldn't let it affect me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still awesome.
Absolutely. So for me, I noticed, like, if you step back from that situation if you step back and look at it from a third person or a different perspective, you'll see that the people who are most likely judging you or telling you negative things or trying to put you down are the people, I call them the people in the arena. They're watching. Ooh. They're not on the floor or they're not even on the bench.
Right. It's true.
They're not players. Right. So, thank you for buying a ticket. You feel me? Like, the people close to me are they're not DJs necessarily, but they're all elevating in their lives.
Right. So you believe like you are who you hang out with.
Yeah, totally. And they all have a growth mindset. That's so good. I have we're like mentors to each other.
That's good.
So, and we're supportive. And like I said, like, my win is their win. Their wins are my wins, it feels like.
Was that always your circle, or like are these people you kind of like found throughout your journey as you were elevating?
I would say throughout my journey.
Okay.
I mean, one of them, I think I mentioned last year, my mentor Z. He was sort of since I was a teenager, like like a big brother role and like a mentor to me. If I just wanted to always elevate, So sometimes you have to look outside your family because, like I said, my parents, they did a great job. They moved here from Macedonia. They're immigrants, and you get to a certain point, you look for safety and security. But then I kind of wanted to go beyond that mentality. And I found that in like people around me that weren't they're like my chosen family.
100%. Like when you're chasing your dreams, unfortunately, like your circle's probably going to change. And like, it's a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. Like in the moment, you're probably like, damn, like I'm losing like all these people that I used to chill with. But like, you have better people coming. You have people who are going to elevate you and bring you to those levels you want to achieve, right?
You know what the thing is with me is that I never had that circle. I was always just the black sheep trying to find my tribe, and I couldn't find them. So that's when I turned to music. I was like, oh, I understand this. Yes. I don't understand a lot of people or why, I always felt like mentally I was tapped into different things and I understood things on a deeper level at a younger age. But a lot of people were too busy doing other things.
Right. So to anybody out there who feels like they don't have their tribe, like, just wait.
Yeah,
they're out there.
The way that it kind of comes to you, right? Once you discover who you are and what your purpose is and when you do what you love, then you attract that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, for example, in high school, I wasn't, straight A's. So what? Like, I didn't have my tribe. I was just going from group to group. I was like, okay, I don't see myself as a fit here. And then.
So how do you stay confident? Because a lot of people like find confidence through validation from others, and clearly you validate yourself. So how do you kind of keep that attitude? Because that's really important, especially as a woman who's trying to like make a career. Like, you can't seek validation from other people. People are going to judge you constantly. So how do you keep that self-confidence?
That's a great question.
Yeah. It's hard to like meet women who aren't scared to like be by themselves and be like, what? So
I quite enjoy it. Like I said, you meet your tribe, you'll find each other, but confidence is built, right? And for me, it's built. Confidence is something that you've built and earned. Someone cannot take that away from you, right? No matter what you do to me or what you say to me. Like, if you go to certain YouTube videos that I'm, where I'm DJing, and there's certain comments, I go through all of them, right? And one of my friends said, "Don't do that. It's gonna affect you." I'm like, I don't care. Like, it is not gonna affect me because I've built myself up to a certain level. I know who I am, right? Yeah. And constantly trying to evolve, and I'm constantly trying to learn myself. But I know myself enough to a degree to be, confident in my skill set and what I bring to the table. I know my value, my worth. I know what I can do, and that's just through hard work.
Yeah, and that can be intimidating to a lot of people. So my next question to you: do you find that like being like a strong, successful, independent woman, like affects your relationships in your personal life? Like romantically?
I would say so because
is it the time, lack of time?
It's sort of like, if we want to talk about my career versus who I am as an individual, it's a little bit different, right? So like I always tell people in the industry, I'm DJ. I'm DJ T Junior. Like everyone knows me as that. And that's Mamba, right? But that's not Kobe Bryant. Right. So Vanessa Bryant didn't get Mamba. She gets Kobe.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with me, where it's like, if you're just looking at the DJ of me, the DJ person of me, then you're seeing someone who's maybe a female that's in her masculine. And I always have to be, super vigilant or super stern with people. And it's a male-dominated industry, so I have strict boundaries. Yes. Right? So they're going to look at me like, she's not soft, she's not nurturing, and it's like,
and that's like a big thing right now, this whole like
so that
feminine thing.
Exactly. And it's like, if you look at me from that perspective, you haven't gotten a chance to even get to know me.
Through like 25 to 35, like there's a bunch of women who are like trying to focus on their career, but they're getting all these like, you should be married and having kids, like backlashes, and it leaves them like confused. They're like, am I doing the right thing? Like, is this what I should be doing?
I think it's just knowing what you want, right? So for me, like I said, I know what I want, and I'm not going to force anything. I'm not going to force timelines.
Yes.
Anytime I'm removed from my craft, I feel like an angst. And that means that, I'm away from what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I miss it. I miss it.
You're not done yet.
Yeah, like I miss being, I miss my craft when I'm away from it, even a short period of time. I feel like I'm the person that needs to always be creating and connecting with people and inspiring people.
Right.
That's just in me, right? So I know that that's part of my purpose, and is to help inspire people through my craft.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I don't feel guilty about that.
Good.
I think.
Do you ever feel guilty when your parents kind of bring it up? Like, obviously, being like a daughter of immigrant parents, like, I'm sure at first they were probably like, what the hell are you doing? Like, being a DJ, like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's true.
So how did you like deal with it? How did they deal with it?
I think they're still dealing with it to a degree.
Of course they are.
Yeah. I don't know if they 100% understand it, but they've gone, more accepting and more understanding over time.
That's good.
Because they see it and they're happy for me.
That's
right.
Good. I feel like that's like a lot of people in Toronto, especially because majority of us are children of immigrants.
Yeah.
Like, and when you're in a creative field, like the struggle is real. Like trying to explain it to your parents, they're literally looking at you like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Like, even if you're a DMC champ, a 2-time DMC champ, immigrant parents will still be like, what are you doing? So how do you kind of like mold your parents' minds into like thinking this is okay? Like, I can relax. She's going to be fine.
I
can't. I think immigrant parents almost can't wrap their heads around creative industries. Like, they almost don't understand it.
You can't change their morals and their values because their beliefs were like rooted a long time ago.
Yes.
And what they told themselves repeatedly, that right. becomes a belief, right? So for me to go in their brains and try and do it, I was like, I'm not going to go and try and change no one's mind. Right. But I'm just going to do what makes me happy. And hopefully through the results, it'll prove to them that, this is good for me, or, I hope you're happy that I'm gaining recognition. Yeah. And just over time, they'll see it.
That's great.
And they have, right?
That's good. But so do they support you now, or are they still like kind of confused?
No.
Are they still like what?
They're supportive, but I think as parents,
cool.
I think parents are always naturally worried about their children.
Yeah.
Especially if you have immigrant parents, and now I've become more understanding of where they come from and their mentality. They came here for a better life. They're looking for safety and security are their priorities. So to try and remove them from that mind state is going to be really difficult. Yes. So it's just managing your expectations of other people's support for you.
That's true.
So how someone might think they want their parents to show up for them. If they don't show up in that way, that's instilled in your mind, like, oh, why don't my parents see the big picture in my creative life? Right. And it's, your parents, if your parents are immigrants, they're looking at safety and security. It doesn't mean they don't love you. They just maybe come from a different place and time. So my parents came here. They built up a family as best as they could. I know they give all their efforts to their family and their kids, right? Yep. So they did everything they could. So I can't sit here saying, you don't understand the music industry. It's like, I understand their concerns. There's been, I remember when I was first DJing, I think actually playing out, maybe 2015, 2016, around then. Because for the longest time, it was just in my bedroom doing my studies, and it was a hobby, right? And I can understand where their concerns stem from, because I was DJing at a spot near Steeles and Weston.
Okay.
And on the news, they'd hear, the place you DJ'd at, they just got shot up. And I'm like, what? No, it didn't. Yeah, so that type of, I'm like, stop watching CP24.
Yes.
But I can see, they see, they're worried about the safety as well as me as a female in the industry as well. Right. So it means even more for me.
Right.
I'm not going to be slacking off. And, my thinking was, if I get good grades, or if I do as best as I can in university, whether or not I want to continue this path, I can always go back and get a master's or a PhD because I have the grades. Right. So I always want to have the options. Like, whatever you do, you should just always put your best effort,
So do you think it's important to have a plan B?
I think, I don't know.
Or would you say that's like a safety net? Because I've heard like some people, there's both sides of this argument. There's, you should have a plan B in case. And then if you have a plan B, you're not going to try as hard to get your plan A because you know that you have a plan
I've heard that too. It depends, because I didn't know that DJing was where I was going to go.
How did you go from UFT to DJing?
Because I was, like I said, I was taking it as a hobby during university.
Okay.
And
you met your tribe during that time.
Over time, yeah.
Okay.
Over time, but yeah, it did start in first year. I didn't meet the DJs till later on. Okay. I met slowly, I kept meeting DJs in the industry because I started going to DMC events.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out DMC Canada too.
and DMC World.
Yes. So after all this hard work and all this time trying to perfect your DJing, your mixing, your scratching, were you nervous for the World Championship?
The World's?
You were a finalist, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. It was amazing.
Representing Toronto.
Yeah.
That's nice.
In Canada, and it was amazing. I would say it is nerve-wracking to a degree, but the thing is, the more that you do it, the more experience you get, the less nervous you get over time.
It's true. And when you were at the World Championship, being from Toronto, did people expect you to have a Toronto accent?
No one said anything
joke
about
it. Now that it's like a thing.
No.
How do you feel about it? Obviously, you were born and raised in Toronto, Scarborough. Like, how do you feel about this whole Toronto accent thing? Do you think it's sexy?
Absolutely not.
That pause.
Absolutely not. You know that.
What's your advice to the mandem out there?
Just stop. I don't think it's real. I don't know what that is.
Oh my God. Honestly, like, I don't know where it came from either. Like,
you know what? Because
it's always kind of been there, but it was never a thing where it was like, if you're from Toronto, you talk like that. You know what I'm saying?
I just had a conversation about this the other day, and I was like, I don't think it's a real accent. The way that when I go to New York, that accent seems real to me.
Right.
I haven't been to Atlanta, but there's a certain accent there.
Right. It's Boston, not forced.
Yeah, Boston, there's a certain accent. And it's something, because the whole community sort of has a certain way of saying things. But in Toronto, it's just pockets of groups and of people that have this accent, and the rest of the individuals don't speak like that.
It's true. And what's crazy is it's influencing like the younger crowd. So now like you see all these like young kids and like teenagers talking like that, and you're like, for what? Like,
I just
like, why are you who taught you to talk like that? Like,
it's not attractive.
It's not. Is it an ick? Would you say it's an ick?
It definitely is.
Right? Toronto mans, do better. Come on now.
It's more comical, I think.
Right.
So when I see the Toronto skits being done on it, I'm like, oh, this is funny.
Right.
But that shows me that so people are aware that this is not funny. A real accent.
Right.
That it is funny.
So why are people even making fun of it? If this was supposed to be our accent, why are people making fun of it?
Put it this way, if I was, if people are coming to me with a business proposal and they want to do a collaboration, and they come into the, the boardroom, and I'm talking like this, hi, how are you? And you come in with a Toronto accent, it's going to deter me from working with you because I just can't take you serious.
Right. There's a time and place, right? Like,
you're
chilling with your boys, you guys are having like, whatever, guys night, like go off. But like, if you're talking to like a lawyer, you should not be being like, yo fam, you gonna bail me out? Like, talking like that.
I don't understand where it came from. I don't know if it's a real thing. I think when I was at the DMC World, someone mentioned something like, oh, is that patois?
Okay.
It's not patois. It's not Jamaican patois at all.
It's not. That's the thing.
Yeah, you'll have Jamaicans come from Jamaica, and they'll hear it, and they're like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, they're a little confused too. That's how you know something's wrong, if Jamaicans are also confused.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
But thank you for representing for Toronto anyways.
Obviously, no, for sure. I represent a lot more than, that aspect of it, but I think for me it was really cool to have the country supporting me. I had the full support of the country, and then it's on me to represent the country. And when I actually thought about it from that angle, I'm like, this is really cool,
And do you have any other advice to anybody out there who might want to be in your position and they're kind of scared? They're like, hesitating, especially women who are like, I want to, be a DMC champ one day too, but I just don't know how to get there or what to do, or they feel insecure. Do you have any advice for them?
Just do it.
Do
it. Nike.
Yeah, just do it. That's the only thing. And, I've done things even when I don't think I'm 100% ready. But because I took that leap, it helped me.
Right.
It helped me get better. Like you have to do it. I know of a lot of talented DJs that didn't compete because they never thought they were ready enough. They never thought they were good enough.
Right.
And therefore they never paved that history for themselves. In hindsight, it's like, okay, you gave that you might have given someone else, I don't want to say less deserving, but someone more fearless than you. Less talented, but more fearless because you were more fearful.
Right.
So I think anyone, you know, I didn't realize how many females would be inspired by seeing me on the world stage, but I had a lot of girls come up to me after the show and also message me, you know, through Instagram and other social media saying, you know, thank you for showing us that it's possible. I was like, wow, this is the W. Like this, I didn't know, because the whole time I'm like, I'm just so stuck in, you know, my trail and my path. Like, I gotta be better than last year. I gotta go. I'm so dialed in. I forgot I'm doing it for them too.
Yeah.
So to anyone out there, I would just say, you know, if you have a passion for something, whether it's DJing or anything, just take that first step. That's all you have to do, and just do it. That's you physically
really just
doing it. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't think about it.
I feel like a lot of creatives kind of hold that thing where they're like stuck because they want it to be so perfect.
There's no perfect.
You're creative, you know, you want it to be perfect, like your vision, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Then you're like, I might as well not even do it, but you should.
You know what?
It comes with practice.
Yeah, there's no perfect time. Stop thinking about, you know, the past. Stop thinking about the future so much. Just think about the now and what you can do now.
Yes.
Because if you don't try it now, someone else will. Yes. And you're giving them the edge, right?
And I was saying in the beginning of the episode, like, while I took my little break, like, that's what I was focusing on, was living in the now.
Yeah.
Focusing on what I'm good at, building the community so that I can come back even better and stronger. And sometimes that's what you have to do, is just focus on the now. Like, tune everybody out and just live your life. Like how they used to before social media.
And exactly.
Like, focus on yourself.
I think about that every day, just trying to be present.
Yeah.
It's just, I have to work at it every day. I can't sit up here and say that I'm present every day. I think a lot about the future.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always thinking about the next step, but I have to think about now. Otherwise, I'm going to miss it. Right. I'm going to miss my moment. Right. I'm going to miss the moment. But without taking that first step and doing what you want to do, it's just, you might miss the window. So don't, you know, just take the opportunity. Try, even if do it scared. I did. I did. I knew in certain...
And look what happened.
Yeah. I knew in certain instances, I was like, in 2016, for example, I knew, and I don't even know how I got to this mentality, but I so wanted to do DMC. I was like, I need to break the ice. I'm tired of thinking about it. So I knew at that point I was not prepared for a 6 minute, but they did have a 2-minute scratch battle live. So I said to myself, I'm just going to do my 2 best, you know, minutes scratching leading up to that event. And I just want to break the ice. I just want to get my name out there just so people know who I am. And I just want to get experience. That's it.
Well, I think they know who you are now. She's like, just in case you didn't know last year, I'm going to remind you again.
So 2016 for me was that year of just breaking the ice, right? And I knew in my mind where I wanted to be, as in today.
That's amazing.
I was like, I want to be there.
And that's living proof. Like, sometimes people need to see it too, right? They need to see somebody else do it to be like, oh, I can do it too.
It's so possible.
Honestly.
And it felt so out of reach at that time, but all I knew was I have to break the ice. Like Michael Jordan says, I can accept failure, but I cannot accept not trying. So I have the same mentality. I'd rather try and fail, because those fails will help me, you know, get closer to my goal.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even say necessarily a fail. It's just a lesson, right?
Yeah.
But that's how he worded it. And that's what 2016 was. Then eventually over time, like, I got more, I was like, I want to actually do a battle set. And maybe not DMC yet, because I knew I wanted to continue honing my skills. 2018. So for anyone listening out there, it took time. It took a lot of time, isolation, sacrifice, being misunderstood, even till this day.
Yep.
Just back then it bothered me. Today it doesn't bother me, because I'm doing what makes me happy. And I just want to have results for what I do. Wow. If there was
that was like worded perfectly, honestly. Like facts.
It's just like moving up the ranks over time, but I did it across several different competitions.
Right.
So I think I'm also the only female to have done all those international competitions.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So my point being is that I never gave up on myself. And it's normal to have thoughts of, what even is this? Or why am I even doing that? Why am I putting myself through so much strenuous work? These are all normal thoughts. And it's just a lot of it was discipline. And I would say an important part of my life this year, and in terms of getting to my goal, was having people around me. It doesn't have to be that many people, but that care enough to keep you accountable.
Yes.
So I had people who were like, "How's it going? How's it going with the set?" And then if I said, I'm still working on, this part of the set, I'm stuck here, I would be really honest. They'd be like, or if they felt that I should be farther along because they've been in my position before, then they'd keep it real with me. They'd be like, you gotta lock in.
That's important though. You
gotta lock in, because they're like, anything that's affecting you in your personal life, which was, which is natural. And it did affect me this year. They said, try to at least compartmentalize it for just the time being, because this opportunity, not everyone gets to go on the world stage.
It's true.
So when they put it in perspective, I'm like, I have to listen to them. Don't be stubborn. They're right. They're looking out for my best interest.
Yeah.
So if you have people who keep you accountable, when maybe you may not, it's really helpful.
Right.
Because we're all human. I think people think I'm like superwoman. I get that a lot. They're like, oh, she never goes through it or whatever. We all do. It's just like I deal with it differently, and I always bounce back times 10.
Times 2. DMC Champ.
Times 2. This is my new thing. Back to back, baby.
Hey.
Yeah.
So before we wrap it up, can you tell the audience anything that they can look forward to, or anything you got coming up? Any little sneak peeks, what to expect? Will you be winning the championship again next year? What's going on?
I know a lot of people are super interested about, as soon as I won the back-to-back, they're like, so 3-peat? And I'm like, let me enjoy this for now, because I know how much work goes into it, right?
Of course.
And winning is one aspect of it, but I just want to make sure that I elevate my skills from one championship to the next. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure I love my set from one year to the next. I want my next year's set to totally outdo this year's set, and this year's set totally blew out the water last year's set.
Yep.
For sure. And that's important for me, and giving myself time to navigate that. Yeah. But definitely, I like making history. So
okay, that's all she's gonna say. I like making history.
So I think a 3-peat would be nice.
It would be. It'd be sick. Yeah. It would be cool.
I remember messaging you, and it might have been. I want to say June, July. I actually messaged X, and I said, I plan on winning this year.
She did.
I plan on winning this year, and I want to set up another interview. And at that time, that's also me keeping myself accountable. Like, you said this.
Right.
You said this, and you have to stand by it.
Right. And you did. Now here we are, literally. All right. Well, that wraps up today's episode. Can you just let our audience know where they can find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, all the socials at DJT Jr. So at DEEJAYTJR.
Well, that wraps up today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for winning that title, representing Toronto, representing women and DJs all over the world.
Thank you so much for having me
again next year when you win again, because it's looking like a routine at this point. Right?
Winning is one of my favorite things to do.
We should all be winning. That's the message of today. Make sure you're winning. All right, guys?
Yes.
So like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Word on the streets. It's BowlzNBeatz. Bye.
Amazing.
Oh, God, look